Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to 8 Ball Sports here, and today I'm bringing you the first post-game analysis of the 2017 college football season, and it is with number 23 Texas versus unranked Maryland. And if you did not watch the game, it was a pretty exciting game, kind of a back and forth game. The first half was dominated by Maryland. Second half, I definitely would say Texas won it. The second half, at least. If you don't know the final score, Maryland won 51-41. High-scoring affair, over 90 points. Defenses were lackluster, but the big thing is the Tom Herman era in Texas got off to a rough start. And if you wonder why I'm making a post-game analysis, as you can see, I'm an Ohio State fan. Obviously, we played Thursday against Indiana, and you can leave all the hate down in the comments about that, terrible first half, whatever. I really just love college football, and I try to keep these videos as unbiased as possible. There obviously are teams that I dislike, like Michigan, Bama, and there's other teams that I guess I kind of have a soft spot for, but I promise I'll do my best to keep it as unbiased as possible. This game I don't necessarily dislike or like either of these teams, so this is going to be a pretty unbiased post-game analysis. So, kind of a tale of two halves, with 30-14 being the score at halftime. Maryland dominating the first half, really on the ground. They had 263 rushing yards as a team and 4 touchdowns to the entire game. I'm turning off my phone real quick. But during the entire game, and that's a great start for Maryland. I think they could make a bowl game this year if they can play like this. This is a win they needed if they wanted to make a bowl, and it's a win they got. For Texas, your defense has to step up. It's been a problem with Texas really ever since they started on this downhill spiral that sent them from national championship contenders all the way down to maybe not even making a bowl game. Defense, I think, has been the problem. They've had their share of offensive struggles, but I think defense. And as you're going to see, Shane Buechele, the Texas quarterback, had a fantastic day. 375 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception. And the special teams had a big impact for Texas. They really kept them in this game. If you go back and look at it, they had a blocked field goal for a touchdown and a punt return for a touchdown. Now, quick fact check: I'm not positive the punt return was for a touchdown, but according to the stats, he had a 91-yard punt return, and I feel like either he got really close to the end zone or he did get the touchdown. I did not watch all of this game. I watched bits and pieces. I was kind of flipping back and forth. The Bowling Green State-Michigan State game was close for a little bit. The Miami Bethune-Cookman or whatever game was pretty close for a little bit there. So I was kind of watching those, seeing if any team was on upset alert. And then this game, Maryland came out of the gates really strong. Now, what I would like to say is Tom Herman gathered the team, and he said something at halftime that brought them right. They outscored Maryland 37-21 in the second half. 37 points and a half is very good, but the defense couldn't stop Maryland enough. And so Maryland got the victory. Running the ball, Ty Johnson, 12 carries, 132 yards, and a touchdown. Tyrell Pigram, I'm not quite sure how to say his name. He's also their quarterback. He was 9 for 12 in the air. He did throw 1 interception, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he also ran for a touchdown, I think like 64 yards on the ground. And then Jake Funk also had a touchdown on the ground. Only 2 carries, but he had a touchdown. And the backup quarterback, I didn't really necessarily watch it. I assume Kasim Hill was in as a strictly running quarterback, but he did throw 3 passes and completed all 3. But he did get a rushing touchdown as well. Receiving the ball, really, Maryland had 2 receivers, or maybe slash tight ends, that were their big guys that got the ball. This guy named DJ Moore, 7 catches, 133 yards and a touchdown, and then Tavion, I can't read my own handwriting sometimes. I don't even know what that says. Tavion for Maryland. If you're a Maryland fan, you know who I'm talking about. 3 catches, 80 yards, and also the other touchdown. So I was impressed by Maryland's offense. From the bits and pieces of this game that I did watch, and then looking at the final stats, Maryland's offense looked well balanced. Over 200 passing yards as a team, over 200 rushing yards as a team. I'm sure I don't think they quite were, but they're pretty close to 450 total yards as a team. So, very good performance. And I hope they can build on this. I like seeing these kind of teams that are in big conferences, but are always kind of the teams that are just get beat up by the big teams. So in the SEC, you got Vanderbilt, Kentucky, in the Pac-12. There's just some teams. I was gonna say Colorado, but they actually had a good year last year, and hopefully can continue that. In the Big Ten, you got Rutgers, Maryland, Illinois, Purdue, teams that they have been good in their team's history, but in recent years, they've definitely kind of been the laughing stock of that conference. So I like seeing. I also like this matchup. It was probably the best matchup in the morning. Well, for me, Central Time, the game started at 11, and I looked at all the 11s, and most of them were just Penn State, Akron. The Miami game I think started at 11. The Michigan State game, the Clemson game. Clemson killed Kent State. If you didn't see that one, and then there was this game, and I thought this game was going to be the best game, and I think it was. And I just got an alert that Michigan got a 46-yard touchdown. Alexa, not a plug or anything, what's the score of the Michigan game?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Hang on. Alexa, what's the score of the Michigan game?
Currently, the Michigan Wolverines football team are beating Florida 10-3 with 2:21 left in the first quarter.
So still in the first quarter. I'm gonna definitely be watching the rest of that game. I watched the beginning, then I wanted to go make this video because this game just ended, and I got written down all my notes and stuff. So for Texas, your quarterback position is filled. Shane Buechele is a very, very solid option. I really like what he did last year. I think he continued to grow. 375 passing yards was really good. Your defense has to step up. Your defense has to step up. Also, you lost your running back, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they lost their running back from last year. And they did not even surpass 100 rushing yards as a team. They got 98 rushing yards as a team on 31 carries. So that's just over 3 yards a carry as a team. And you have to at least get over 100 yards, I think, to win a game. You have to be able to run to be able to pass. 52 pass attempts for a no-huddle team in Texas is too many. Indiana's quarterback threw for 65 passes against Ohio State, but that's because they ran about 100 plays. If you're going to be a team that succeeds in the Big 12, or really in college football, you have to be able to at least run the ball at a decent consistency. I'm not saying you have to get like 7 yards a carry, but get 3.5 to 4 yards a carry, and that'll at least keep the defense honest. So Texas, though, 3 non-offensive touchdowns. I mentioned the punt return and the blocked field goal. They also had an interception return for a touchdown. So if you're wondering, because they only scored 3 offensive touchdowns, they'd have a rushing touchdown in there, but they only scored 3 offensive touchdowns. Their other 3 coming from this, obviously, coming from those. So, also kicking, both sides. Terrible in the field goal department. Obviously, Maryland got one of theirs blocked, and then the Maryland kicker also missed another one. He was 1 for 3, and Texas's guy was 0 for 2. So, special teams is a big part of the game. I would say Maryland probably lost the special teams battle, but they won the offense, and I guess won the defense if any defense won this battle, and that's why they won this game. Just takeaways from this game. If Maryland can continue with its offense at this kind of rate, I think they could finish at a 6-6, 7-5, at the highest being an 8-4 record, and make a bowl, which I think is a victory. I don't know if they made one last year. I can't recall. But I think if they win 7 games, that's going to be a victory, and they're moving in the right direction. Texas, on the other hand, you have to have your defense step up to the plate. They have to be able to stop. If they can't stop Maryland, and they let over 50 points up to a Maryland team, what's going to happen when you go play the Big 12 offenses like Oklahoma and Baylor and TCU and Oklahoma State, who's looked really good in their opener the other day? So that's my takeaway for Texas. I think they're going to make a bowl. I think Tom Herman is going to be able to turn this team around. I think they really need to find an identity on the defense, whether that be being a blitz team, being a run-stopping primary team, being a good secondary. I don't know what it's going to be, but they have to find something, or they're going to continue to lose, to be honest with you. So that is my post-game analysis for this game. I should have one up about the Florida-Michigan game later today, as well as the Alabama-Florida State game, and maybe the West Virginia-Virginia Tech game. I don't quite know if I'm going to do that one yet. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. It does really mean a like. Let's try to hit 5 likes on this video. And if you enjoyed this video, as well as any of the other videos on my channel, please subscribe to the channel. I post MLB The Show 17 content, some Madden 18 content will probably be coming out fairly soon, as well as all these post-game analysis and other sports news, whether that be baseball or the NFL, or maybe even hockey, because that's getting pretty close too. So, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later.